What is going on, guys? Carter here with Edged Mindset. Got another video for you. We're taking a look at every single manual Microtech knife in my collection. I got these out to shoot a short. I thought it would be kind of fun to say, hey, here's all my Microtech knives. And I was kind of surprised. I actually thought I had more, kind of. But then when I really think about it, it's not like I had some that I got rid of that I thought I still had. I guess just general impression, I thought I had more than 5, but this is all I have. So I thought it might be kind of fun for those that are the real knife nerds to dive a little bit deeper into my manual Microtech collection. So I'm going to go through every one of these, tell you what it is, brief overview, not a full review or anything like that, but kind of just talk about what I have here. First up, we have my MSI in full serrated blade. Now, I've had a bunch of MSIs come through my hands. A bunch of them were donated to me when I lost my job a number of months ago, like 4 months ago. I had a bunch sent to me. I did some videos on those. I sold some of those, but this is one that I have kept. This is the only MSI that's currently in my collection. These are not production scales, however, these are from Lex Customs. If you want to get yourself a pair of these, you can go to the Lex Customs Etsy shop, or I think Knife Center has them as well. I'm not affiliated. I'm not going to get any cutbacks or anything like that, but if you like them, feel free to pick them up. Little note though, and I mentioned this in my main video on these knives, if you want to get these scales, make sure that you have the little tab that goes on the other side of this pocket clip. You can see it in there. This tab only comes with the G10 or carbon fiber versions of this knife. Does not come with the aluminum handled version. So if all you have is the aluminum, you're not going to be able to put these scales on. But at any rate, this is the most affordable in its standard configuration. This is the most affordable knife, or at least manual knife, that Microtech offers. It's kind of their flagship knife, which is what MSI stands for, Microtech Standard Issue. It's like their base level knife. That being said, though, it has the same exact steel, the M390 MK, that pretty much all of their knives currently have. The craftsmanship on this is no different either. So it's kind of it's a budget option from them without actually being a budget knife, because there's no corners have been cut on this knife. So it's kind of like Microtech just wanted to do everyone a solid and offer a knife that is on the more affordable side of things. And that's what this is. So at its base model, these are like $100 and something bucks if you get the polymer handles. If you get the G10, it's a little bit more. And of course, if you buy these aftermarket clips, it's going to cost even more than that. But it is a very large knife. You can see here compared to a Paramilitary 2, it is no slouch. It is very, very large. Microtech has always made pretty large knives. They're not really known for making small ones. So if you like large knives with a futuristic type look to it, look no further than the MSI from Microtech. It features the ram lock here. Now, this had a couple issues in the first run of these. Some people had some problems with some lock rock or lock slippage. That seems to all be resolved now. So I would be confident that you can pick one of these up. No issues at all right now. Let's keep that theme. This is the Stitch from Microtech, featuring the same brand of scales, if you can't tell. Same exact pattern, titanium, stonewashed. By the way, Lex Customs, they do Cerakote in different colors. They do glass blasted, things like that. I just went with the industrial look here. This is the Stitch, which is a collaboration with Sebastian Berengi of Borka Blades. You can see the Borka logo right there. So Borka Blades is a custom knife shop owned and operated by Sebastian. He does his own knives. He does his own version of the Stitch, which is the original version of the Stitch, right? He invented the Stitch, which is a frame lock custom knife. This is a collaboration with Microtech and is a production manual version of Sebastian's custom knife. This originally came out as a collaboration with Microtech in the automatic form, and then fairly recently, they did the ram lock manual version. The reason I spell that out so much is there's a lot of confusion on what the Stitch is, who Sebastian is, what Borka Blades is, what Microtech is. A lot of people think this is a straight up Microtech knife, and if you show them a custom Borka Stitch, they get confused. And then to make it even more confusing, there's also the Marfione, the Tony Marfione custom shop line collaboration with Sebastian. Those knives are very much like Sebastian's custom knife. So it just gets kind of confusing. I wanted to make sure and spell that out. This has a super, super aggressive blade shape, as you can see here, even more aggressive than the original custom Stitch, with this giant finger choil here, this nice spear point type tip with this harpoon coming up on the top. This one has the apocalyptic finish on the primary bevels, satin on the flats, giant thumb opening hole. Pretty cool. Comes with the ram lock. I don't know if I love how big that opening hole is, but it's somewhat like the kind of reminds me of the Roosevelt XL situation, where the opening hole is just a little bit too large. But for slow rolling, this thing is fantastic. Not as inexpensive as the MSI, but still quite affordable. I think it's around $300 for like the G10 version of this, and the aluminum version of this. Comes in all different kinds of colors, serrated, partial serrated, stonewash, all kinds of stuff, natural, clear aluminum handles. Very cool knife to have in any collection. Now what the hell, let's finish up our ram lock collection here. So all three of these knives are every single ram lock pattern that you can currently get. This is everything that they've made with the ram lock. You've got the Stitch, the MSI, and this is the Amphibian. Now the Amphibian, unlike these other two, is not a new design. In fact, it is a very classic design from Microtech. Now it's been spruced up, it's been redone, fitted with the ram lock, but the Amphibian has been around for a long time, and it is a massive monster of a knife with that fantastic recurved blade right here. Super sexy lines, very ergonomic. It is a tactical beast. Now this particular version has the natural clear aluminum handles. What is natural clear? It is basically just untinted anodization over raw aluminum, and it looks fantastic. It looks like titanium, right? I mean, that's the thing. It looks like titanium, but it's not. It's aluminum, so it's lighter and way cheaper than titanium. And this finish holds up amazingly well. Really, really well. Very tough finish. And if you do break through it, you know, you get that raw aluminum coming through, but it still looks pretty damn good. Now, this edition has a DLC coated blade. This is part of their signature series. Not a lot of these are made. I'm really glad I was able to score one of these. They popped up out of nowhere. There was only a few drops, and they seem to have disappeared now. Knowing Microtech, though, if they can make money off a design, they will do that. So I'm sure this will come back. DLC pocket clip, DLC hardware, ram lock. Beautiful knife. One of my favorites. I really, really like this one. And I really like the Amphibian in general, all its configurations. I've had a couple now. Next up, we have the absolute classic, the Socom Elite. This is the amazing underdog of the Microtech Manual world. It's been around forever. It does not get as much love as it deserves because it is an amazing knife at an amazing value. Aluminum scales with texturized rubbered inlays, titanium inlaid liner lock with, if you can see there, it has a steel insert in there as well. So very, very cool design. I think the only reason this doesn't get more love is because of this tip down pocket clip. People just do not like the tip down. I have grown to accept it, and I really enjoy this knife. It's very, very cool. Very affordable as far as USA made Microtech knives go. This thing is around, I think, $300 or so. It is not too crazy, maybe a little more than $300. It's been a while since they've dropped them, though. Microtech tends to do things in batches where they'll do certain runs of knives pretty extensively, and then they will retire or semi-retire some designs. So it's been a while since they've done a run of Socom Elites. Right now, they're really focusing on OTFs and the ZBT stuff and things like that. But if you can find one of these, I would absolutely recommend picking one up. It is kind of the quintessential hard use tactical folder that has seen a lot of deployment use as well. A lot of our active service members really like this knife. Last but certainly not least, or maybe some people consider at least, we have a pretty crazy knife here. This is the Anax from Microtech. Now, this has the reputation, or the whatever, I can't think of the word, of being one of the very few knives that are made in China for Microtech. So Microtech did a collaboration with Reich Knives of China and produced a few of their classic models overseas, and this is one of them. So this started off as a custom knife from Marfione years and years ago, 2014, 2015, something like that. This was available as a custom knife, and it looked very much like this. It's an integral titanium folder with all kinds of Microtech weirdness and goodies and design stuff, and this crazy lanyard that nobody else has done before. I mean, you can probably see why. It actually came with a couple of them, but they all feature this braided, stiff wire. This screws in too, which is kind of cool. So it's a very cool knife, very interesting. A lot of things going on. Beg ball here, over travel, tons of titanium. Very, very cool. They no longer do Chinese overseas knives. So from what I understand, I could be completely wrong, it was a little bit of a strategic move. They needed to raise some funds to do some expansion and to kind of move into the next chapter of their company. And so they leveraged this collaboration with Reich Knives in order to make that happen. But they have since sunsetted this collaboration. They're no longer working with them. So if you want one of these, or one of the other overseas produced knives, you got to jump on it, because they're not going to be around very much longer. All right, guys, so that is everything. That is all of my manual knives from Microtech. I'm sure there's a few of you out there that didn't even realize that Microtech does manual knives. They have a long history of making manual knives, and for being primarily a automatic knife company, they do a damn good job at it. So comment down below, how many manual Microtech knives do you have, and which one of these is your favorite? Talk to you guys later.